here at Pittodrie. A huge game here, not a huge crowd in, I would have to say. It's Aberdeen against Dundee with Willie Miller, Rory Loy and Liam McLeod.
Thank you, Kenny. Good evening. Pittodrie under the lights for this rearranged match that went off in October, and we'll wait and see who emerges on top, if anybody. But it is a massive match for Barry Robson personally, you feel. A match of huge significance for him personally and for Aberdeen as well, who wanted to be up finishing third again this season. In truth, they're closer to the bottom of the table than they are where they want to be. 19 points adrift of Hearts, albeit with 3 games in hand. And Dundee, well, it's been an excellent return to the top flight for them in Tony Docherty's first season as standalone manager. And it's been their best top flight season in more than 2 decades now, as the two sets of players exchange handshakes with each other and then with the officials. And Dundee looking for their first win at Pittodrie since 2004, as these two go head to head for the first time this season, believe it or not, as we head towards February. They were also due to meet at Dens last month, another game that was postponed. Dundee barely played a home game in recent times. So the lineups, the two captains, Joe Shaughnessy, formerly of this parish, along with Graham Shinney down there with the referee, who's Nick Walsh. Kelly Roos in goal. It's a back 3 for Aberdeen, or the 3 centre backs: Mill, McDonald, Jensen, Devlin and Mackenzie wide, Shinney and Clarkson in the middle with McGrath supporting Miovski and Sockler. For Dundee, Carson in goal. Again, looks like a back 3 for them too. Shaughnessy, Ashcroft and Dodgson with McGee and Beck wide. Beck sealing his return to the club, and how grateful Dundee are that Jurgen Klopp played him against Bournemouth recently. That meant he couldn't play for anyone else, either Liverpool or Dundee, and he's back at Dens. Boateng, Silan, Cameron in the midfield, Bakayoko and Robinson, the two-pronged front line. So both teams matching up to each other. The Dark Blues are going to kick off. They're going to go right to left towards the Richard Donald Stand beach end of the stadium. It's a cold night, but it's pretty benign ahead of the winds that are arriving first thing in the morning. And Dundee kick us off, and it's immediately played out to Beck on this near side. Infield it goes to Malachi Boateng, back to Shaughnessy, long ball forward, the header from Devlin into the Dundee half, up to the halfway line for Cameron, and headed out by Jack Milne on this near side for a throw. And it does actually look as though Jack Milne's playing over on the right hand side, Willie.
He is, yeah. Nicky Devlin's played as a centre back. He knows the position. I think it's perhaps just has a little bit more experience, and Jack Milne's quite a raw youngster, but you know, he's very tall. Milne, isn't he? 6'3", something like that. Yeah, I don't know, has he got wide capabilities? I think that would be my question mark there. We'll soon see. I mean, he's well up the park just now, so he's trying to get involved in the game at least.
He has played at right wing back this season when he's been in, and he looks the part, to be honest. He is more of a centre back, as Willie says, as Clarkson picks up for Aberdeen and switches it to the right of the centre circle. We'll keep you up to date with what's going on at Amon Vale as well. That massive game at the bottom of the table between Livingston and Ross County, is that long ball forward aimed for Sockler, comes right through to Trevor Carson, who's one of 5 changes to the Dundee side this evening. Of course, no Luke McCowan, who was sent off against Livingston. It was a 4-1 victory for Dundee at the weekend as they got back to winning ways. Wins have been more difficult to come by recently, but there's no getting away, Rory, from the fact that it's been a seamless return to the top flight, and many are tipping Dundee to finish in the top 6 this season. If they win tonight, they will be into the top half of the table.
Yes, they will. They'll still have a lot to do to finish in the top 6. They have had a bit of a sticky patch in terms of results when you factor in the fact that they've been away to Kilmarnock, away to Hearts, away to Livingston and away to Aberdeen tonight. That is a tough run of fixtures for any team in the league. So a good win at the weekend, a deserved win. I do agree with David Martindale to an extent. I don't think it was a 4-1 game, but a welcome 3 points for Tony Docherty.
Certainly was. The ball bobbling around over on the far side in the Aberdeen half. It's nicked up towards halfway. The header from Ashcroft back into Aberdeen territory, chasing after it's Boateng on the far side, but Jensen gets there first and boots it forward across halfway, and out it goes for an Aberdeen throw-in. over on the far side, to be taken by Richard Jensen, a bit level with the edge of the centre circle. South stand side, Aberdeen left to right in their red and gold, Dundee all in navy blue, as you would expect. Here is McGrath collecting for the Dons. He is brought crashing to the ground by Sela, and a free kick to the home team, just about 6 or 7 yards away from the edge of the centre circle. And Willie, those who have turned out for the home team this evening will be expecting a good performance tonight, not just a win. A win's important, but they want to see the team playing well, because it's been in the tiny little patches they've seen that this season.
Yeah, I think you've got that responsibility playing at home to try to entertain, but I think at this stage where the team is and the need for points, it's more important that they actually get the 3 points. My worry about Aberdeen, the lineup that they've got is on the creative side. Where's the creativity going to come from? I think particularly in the wide areas, 2 young wing backs, they've got strength and they're direct, but if they really get the talent to deliver the telling cross into the box, and you've got 2 strikers there as well, so I think the Aberdeen fans will be hoping that that's the case, that these wing backs can get into a wide area and can give the ammunition for the strikers.
4 minutes in, 0-0 in the 2 games. Free kick Dundee, and it is Beck to take. It's level with the edge of the centre circle in the Aberdeen half. He's looking up at the box here, left-footed, pings it to the back end of the penalty area. It breaks off Devlin. There's a brief shout for handball there against Nicky Devlin, who of course was punished for that offence in the box at Tynecastle on Saturday, but the flag's gone up in any case from the Beck free kick. Offside, free kick to Aberdeen. Good crowd up from the City of Discovery over there in the south stand as well. They've packed out probably about 2/3 of the away section. It's a good visiting following. They're in a good place right now as Roos knocks it forward, but slices and shanks it out main stand side, throw in Dundee.
I mean, we're nearly 5 minutes in, and Aberdeen have went from back to front 4 or 5 times already. Nicky Devlin's tried. What happens is Miofsky goes short, gets attracted towards the ball. Esther Sokler tries to run in behind, and they're trying to play a ball over the top, and Silla and Boateng are just mopping everything up in their second balls.
Ashcroft is chasing the ball, facing his own goalie as well, with under pressure from Sokler to get it back to Carson. He wallops it forward up towards halfway. It comes off Shinnie's heading out for a Dundee throw-in, so that's worked out well for Dundee and Trevor Carson.
I think it's maybe a little old-fashioned kind of a statement to make, but see, when you're at home and you're playing against a team like Dundee, no disrespect to them, but you've got to actually pin them in. I think you've got to pin them in that first 10, 15, 20 minutes, so that they know that they're at Pittodrie, they know that they're here and it's going to be a tough game of football. So far it's been so easy to play against, and there's been no telling passes. I think what you've got to do, I watched the game down at Tynecastle, and both sides, their first thought was a forward pass on Saturday, and I think Aberdeen have got to try and get that into their DNA.
The free kick there against Jamie McGrath was late and Silla, as Clarkson was earlier on, which led to the free kick just coming in from that kind of position as well. We are almost charging in from not quite the side, and the referee was quick to give Dundee the free kick, and it's in a similar position, maybe just a few feet further back towards the halfway line, and this time it is Owen Dodgson on loan from Burnley. A few of those with that tie-up that Dundee have recently announced. Costello dislodged from the starting 11 after the return of Owen Beck today. Dodgson with the free kick to the edge of the penalty area. Shaughnessy heads it down onto the 18-yard line. The referee blows his whistle. Free kick Aberdeen. Tony Docherty down there with his arms outstretched, knows this place so well, of course. And Willie mentioned it there, Rory. He said Aberdeen been too easy to play against, and that's been the case in many games this season. St Mirren came up here and strolled it last month.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go with the long ball tactic, then what has to happen is McGrath and Clarkson and Shinnie, they need to get up and support a lot quicker than they are, because the Dundee midfield, as I just said, have picked up every single second ball in that midfield, and it's been far too easy for them thus far.
It's Aberdeen in possession. It's McKenzie across halfway, charging down the left-hand side. Shinnie tries to give more of a wide option. McKenzie going in alone at the moment, slips it into the box. Sockler, Miovski trying to get onto it. He does eventually inside the area, looking for space to shoot, which he does with the left foot. Drags it wide of the right-hand reverse post, and that will be a goal kick to Dundee, where it's better from an Aberdeen point of view. 0-0, 8 minutes.
No, without doubt, and you know, you definitely need that. And Jack McKenzie on the left-hand side, he's a really strong runner. Listen, the cross was pretty woeful actually, but it worked out quite well because, you know, Sockler had made the run in, but he had managed to check and get onto the ball, and then Miovski's shown what he's capable of. Really good, quick feet, but the finish wasn't quite up to it. But you know, unless you've got the two wing backs getting forward, putting in crosses into the box, and you've got the two options in there now, you know, if you don't do that, then you're missing a trick in my book.
Aberdeen's new signing, Killian Phillips, is on the bench on loan from Crystal Palace. Probably see him at some point later. Now, he can play wide, he can play central as well. He's primarily an attacking midfield player, but they are seriously lacking width as Milne is caught in the ball by Beck. He's lucky because it was returned to him by Bakayoko, but the pass went straight to Milne. Devlin is charged down by Beck. Devlin trying to defend it. Down goes Devlin. Free kick Aberdeen on this near side, about level with their own penalty spot in the main stand side.
Yeah, really, really good from Owen Beck. He just waited till Devlin's head was down and he was going to pass the ball, and that was the moment, the trigger for the press. It does look like he's moving slightly uncomfortably though, Beck. I think he's maybe hurt his hip. I noticed that earlier in the match, but seems to have ran it off.
Kelleroos will take the Aberdeen free kick. No goals here, no goals at Amon Vale between Livingston and Ross County. And it's the Dutch Aberdeen goalkeeper. Long ball comes off the head of Dodson and out for a throw-in on this near side to the hosts, which will be taken by Milne eventually. Gets a little bit of movement from McGrath. Eventually bowls it forward to Sockler. Kind of bounces off, and McGrath trying to get onto it, and then Clarkson flips it out to McKenzie. It was the right idea, but there's too much on the pass, and it goes out of play for a throw-in on the far side. McKenzie unable to get onto it. 10 on the clock. Yeah,
I don't mind that from Clarkson. The execution wasn't quite there, but it was, as you say, Liam, the right idea, and it was a quick pass, and it had a bit of purpose to it. Next time, if it does land there, we'll have an overload on that side.
Well, defeat at Hearts leaves Aberdeen 19 points off third spot. They've lost 3 of their last 9. They've won 5 of them. It hasn't been an atrocious run of form. And the problem is the season hasn't really caught on for the Dons yet. It hasn't caught fire at any point. There have been a couple of memorable moments, probably most notably the League Cup semi over Hibs, the win at Ibrox. And that apart, there have been more downs than ups. It's going to be a throw into Dundee over on the far side to be taken by Ashcroft. Level with the edge of the centre circle, bowling it forward. It's helped on its way there by Jordan McGee. Cleared though by McKenzie. Up to halfway, Dodson gets onto it. Little ricochet off Shinnie, breaks Ashcroft's way. It's a long ball. Jensen's underneath it, far from decisive though. Robinson has it, played it across, and Bakayoko's so close. And he's now sitting in the goal frame, wondering how on earth he's not put that into the empty net to put Dundee in front. It stays 0-0, 11 and a half on the clock. By far and away the best chance of the game so far, and it came for Dundee.
Yeah, absolutely, and Richard Jensen's all over the shop, you have to say. It's a simple forward ball. He misjudges the flight of the ball. Willie will tell you more about that as a centre-back, but the ball across the goal is a good one. Can't quite reach it. Very, very unlucky not to tap it into the back of the net.
It's a big chance though, isn't it? I mean, it's a huge opportunity, and he's just a fraction off of getting any kind of contact onto that ball, and it's in the back of the net. So a real wake-up call for Aberdeen.
Well, that's an international defender in Richard Jensen.
He's not showing it, and you know, it's quite a simple ball. You just have to, you know, make sure you're moving your feet and getting your position right and thinking ahead of the ball coming towards you.
It's a glorious chance for Bakayoko. Dundee don't win this game, he's going to be replaying that plenty. And here's a chance for Miovski. Dundee lose the break of the ball. Miovski shoots slow with the right foot. It's a comfortable take for Carson. Sockler had made himself an option on the other side of the box. Miovski had to go himself there though, but he didn't generate the power that was going to beat Trevor Carson, who dived down to his right to hold on to it, and it stays Aberdeen 0, Dundee 0.
Yeah, at the end of it, it was reasonably comfortable, wasn't it, for Carson, but Miovski, alert again. It's a tight angle for him as well, but it doesn't get enough power on it, doesn't get enough behind it. It's quite a low one across the face of the goalkeeper, and he dealt with it quite comfortably.
He was denied his 18th goal of the season after the VAR check in Edinburgh at the weekend. Carson at the edge of his box with a header. The referee's blown his whistle over a late challenge on Richard Jensen. The ball had long gone. He's stopped the play. As the Finn, as I said, Finnish internationalist, gets himself back to his feet.
Yeah, it looked like one of those where the defender goes to clear it, the striker goes to block it. It's a little bit of a coming together. There didn't look a lot in it. It's Silla. Yeah, he just tries to block it. He's a little bit late. It is a foul, no more.
Dundee away from home this season, they've played 14, they've only won 4 of them. Aberdeen though have only won 4 at home this season. It's a big problem for them. Here's McGrath driving forward for the Dons though, midway inside the Dundee half, rolls it out to Milne, right hand side, works the 1-2, trying to get back onto it. Beck shields it though and allows Dodson in to clear up to the halfway line, helped on its way by Bakayoko. McDonald gets his head onto it, but it's going to break here down this left-hand side. An opportunity for Zach Robinson to run down the left. He moves it infield early, though. It's given away. Then Aberdeen in turn give it away. Boateng picks up at the edge of the box, scuffs a shot for goal, and it goes well wide of that right-hand post from Malachi Boateng, waiting for his first Dundee goal. He's going to have to wait longer. Now it would have been a spectacular way to open your account. 14 and a half in the clock, Aberdeen 0, Dundee 0. Yeah. First signs of discontent amongst the home fans as well when that ball was given away. Another opportunity coughed up because of sloppy play.
Yeah, it was. It was a poor pass and he wasn't under a lot of pressure when he gave the ball away, and Dundee pounced on it. I do think Silla and Boateng have started the match well, and they're on top of Aberdeen's midfield, generally speaking. Tough chance to take though, and he drags it wide horribly.
Some of the other scores, of course, the Scottish Cup 4th round wraps up tonight, and Brora Rangers have taken a 1-0 lead against Cove. What a scoreline that is. The 4th round of the Cup. Here is Shaughnessy doing some defending with Sockler at close quarters. It breaks back to Carson, who clears.
Oh, what a touch.
Yeah, and it's moved to Boateng inside the centre circle. They're going to return it forward here, and an opportunity for Dundee. The shot from distance is held on to by Kelarus from Bakayoko. And as Rory says, it's a brilliant touch into the feet of Boateng, and then eventually it broke to Bakayoko at the edge of the box. Again, just didn't have the power to beat Kelarus.
It's good play though, isn't it? You know, good link-up play. Poor finish though in the end.
Elgin won in League Two. It was a Liam Scullion opener for the Bully Wee. Russell Dingwall equalising in the basement battle in League Two. Clyde have got it back to 4 points, the gap at the bottom. Ian McCall has been trying to get them in that position as Shinnie gets in behind Shaughnessy. In he comes! Oh, he's put it wide. What a chance for Graham Shinnie. He was 6 yards out, right-hand side. He's claiming corner. You just feel that those claims are trying to disguise the fact he's missed that glorious opportunity for Aberdeen as he puts it wide the reverse side of the goal, past the left-hand post, and it stays nothing each.
It's a huge chance, isn't it? You know, from Shinnie. You know, he comes from a deep position and runs in behind the Dundee back three, and I think it's his first touch, isn't it? He's hit it too far ahead of himself. He tries to clip it over the goalkeeper and just tugs it and puts it by the post, but what an opportunity that was for the captain.
Dundee, Joe Shaughnessy in particular, breathing a sigh of relief. Here come Dundee up the other end. Bakayoko looking to slip it infield to Beck, when it's straight to Clarkson. Going to go to Avon Vale for an update in a moment, but there's chances at both ends right now. Here's McGrath to Miovski, who's brought crashing to the ground by Dodson. That's going to be a free kick on the touchline and a yellow card for the Dundee defender. Brian McLaughlin watching Livingston, Ross County.
We're into the 20th minute here, Liam. It's Livingston 0, Ross County 0. Neither goalkeeper Brown called into action just yet. One half chance for the visitors. Victor Olaturi, quick feet down the left hand side, cut the ball back for Eli King. His shot from the edge of the box was on target but was blocked by the home defence. It's tough to play football here at Livingston. Only 6 minutes was played when the first Livingston fan stood up and gave the Livingston defence his views on how they've been playing recently. Nothing I could repeat on here though, Liam.
Yeah.
It's Livingston 0, Ross County 0.
Here's Aberdeen in the box. Miovski back to Clarkson, who slashes his effort with the right foot, and it goes well past the post from outside the area, and it stays Aberdeen 0, Dundee 0, almost on 18, as Brian was saying. Similar situation at Ammon Vale between Livingston and County.
Yeah, but you know, with what's at stake tonight, then I think Aberdeen, you know, got to look at this opening, 20 minutes, almost 18, 20 minutes, not be too happy with it. You know, you've got Clarkson there having an opportunity to strike. He's got to be more controlled. He's better than that. It's a huge swipe at the ball, and it's nowhere near the target. And they haven't created enough chances, just that Graham Shinney, really. So it's even in chances, Dundee and Aberdeen. I don't think that's good enough for the home side.
Little flick forward by Boateng. Robinson nods it out to this near side for Cameron. Back to Beck, just inside his own half, under pressure from Milne. Beck on the turn. Beck, well, there's a fist of his shirt in Jack Milne's hand there, and eventually down goes Owen Beck. Great skill. He's shimmied away from Milne, and that's going to be a free kick to Dundee, just inside Aberdeen territory over on the left.
Really, really good play. And the way he moves, the way he holds himself, he's so similar to Andy Robertson, I have to say. That slight figure, but he can get up and down, keeps control of the ball with touch of class.
Yeah, the Welshman will be hoping to have as good a career as Andrew Robertson. Dundee come forward, it's down the left-hand side, and it's an overhead cross ball there from Bakayoko. Goes straight to Jamie McGrath, though, who plays it off Shaughnessy, his countryman, and out for a throw-in to Aberdeen down in front of the Pittodrie tunnel on this near side. No goals, 19.5 on the clock. It's interesting you were talking about the width of Aberdeen, or the lack of it, Willie. They've not really got, I mean, I said Killian Phillips is a winger. They've not really got wingers in the squad, and they let Matty Kennedy, for example, leave last summer, and just not replaced that kind of player, as Bakayoko swings across in. It's comfortable for Roos.
Yeah, it's probably on the bench. You're talking Hayes and Morris as your options in a wide area. You know, Johnny Hayes getting to the twilight of his career. In fact, he's in the twilight of his career, not getting there. But he still can offer something. He can offer a directness and, you know, a really good attitude as well. But
it's difficult though, Willie, isn't it?
Starting games.
It's difficult to go to the Johnny Hayes well at this point, isn't it?
Well,
the age of 36.
It is. It's always better if you're a goal or two up and you're inviting Johnny Hayes to come on. But if you're struggling, maybe, you know, behind in a game and looking for him to turn it, then yeah, at his stage, then, you know, it's a big ask.
Yeah, and Shayden Morris, it's difficult to see what he's offered so far to the club as Richard Jensen goes along looking for Sockler down the left-hand side. He's managed to prevent the goal kick at least and keep Dundee hemmed in there. Dundee throw-in, which Ashcroft will take down by the corner flag over on that far side.
It was that type of pass that got Graham Shinney in, you know, the deep run from midfield, but one-dimensional Aberdeen. They'll pass it around a few passes, and then it's that inevitable clip over one of Dundee's centre-backs who are playing either side. It's a little bit predictable.
It's Angus MacDonald picking up in the halfway line. Some precious little action this season, but he's given it away straight to Beck. Boateng in the centre circle, long ball. Beck looking to get onto it. Controls it with the left foot beautifully. Left-hand side of the box, cuts in field, back onto the left, down towards the byline. Really decent challenge though, which prevents Beck getting onto it, and he's caught Devlin late after Nicky Devlin had won the ball back as Cove Rangers equalise against Brora in that Scottish Cup 4th round tie this evening. It remains here at Pittodrie, Aberdeen 0, Dundee 0, approaching 22 minutes. And Beck, well, is he fortunate to get away without a booking there?
I'll say I don't think so, to be honest with you, Liam. I think it's very similar to the one I described earlier. He tries to block it, Nicky Devlin boots it up the pitch, and there's not a lot in it.
Nah. nothing at all, is it? You know, I think Nicky making way too much of that challenge from Owen Beck.
Mitch Megginson, shock horror, scored the Cove Rangers equaliser against Brora in that Scottish Cup tie this evening. As I said, it's Eldon City 1, Clyde 1 in League 2. East Fife and Spartans are goalless as well. And no goals in the 2 Premiership matches underway, including this one here in Aberdeen. Quarter of the game has come and gone. And it is Jack Milne with a throw in infield to McGrath. Back to Milne on the near side. Dinks the ball towards Sockler, the header away by Shaughnessy, and then Shinnie is caught by Boateng, and that's going to be a yellow card for the Dundee midfielder. In his defence, I don't think he knows Shinnie's coming, and it's going to be a free kick to Aberdeen. He's caught Shinnie in the head.
Do you not think that's a bit harsh? I mean, he's a tall player, and Shinnie's not the tallest, and Shinnie's kind of a ducking going into that header as well. You know, it's one of them ones. It's maybe a bit hip, maybe a little bit higher than hip. Listen, he catches Shinnie, and I think that's why the referee's given the yellow card. I don't know what you thought about it, Rory. Maybe the opposite.
No, I don't think the opposite. I do think the booking is harsh. Listen, the referees are bound by the rules and the laws these days, which is frustrating, but I think anyone watching the game can see it's an honest attempt for the ball. Free kick, fine, but a yellow card's a step too far.
Clarkson is going to take it. It's about midway inside Dundee territory, just right of centre. Milne just leaving it for Clarkson. He's taking it short and giving it straight to Dodson, who clears it. Wow. Well, in Leighton Clarkson, we're dealing with a quality footballer, but that...
Just a misunderstanding.
Yeah, that is just... He's just been made to look very silly there.
Yeah, Sockler comes towards the ball, and it's meant to drag a Dundee player out of the defence to create some more room in the box, and the ball was meant to go in the box, I think. They've obviously worked on something as well where Sockler does receive the ball, and it's been a complete mix-up. Sockler's done one thing.
Oh, and Kellaroos has just blasted the ball straight off Bakayoko, who's chasing him. The Aberdeen keeper's in trouble. I don't think Bakayoko's been able to keep it in. In fact, he has. But Roos gets onto it. It's played short to McGrath. Aberdeen are trying to keep Kellaroos at the club, and situations like that aren't going to do many favours with the supporters as Devlin collects and rolls it to Clarkson on this near side. He looks to switch the play out to Jensen on the left-hand side. Jensen then plays it forward straight to Ashcroft, though, and Ashcroft can clear. Boateng giving chase. McDonald's going to get there first time with the left foot into the Dundee half. Ashcroft wins the header, and it's picked up in the centre circle by Bakayoko. He's such a good striker option to have for Dundee. Pulls defenders around all over the place.
I tell you what, his finish at the weekend was a touch of class.
Yeah,
as well, Liam.
It was. Zach Robinson's a good foil for him up there as well. I think the Dundee fans are frustrated they're not getting to see Michael Mellon from the start tonight after his uber impressive debut against Livingston at the weekend. 2 assists and a goal himself, the Scotland under-21 international. Here is Devlin, long ball up towards Miovski, headed away by Ashcroft. There's been a goal scored at Ammanvale. There's a suspicion of offside, we'll get to it in a moment. Shaughnessy clearing for Dundee at the edge of the box. Clarkson forward to Shinnie. Shinnie under pressure from Silau, gets it back and clears it, and then it's picked up by Robinson just outside the centre circle. He's managed to flash it out to Jordan McGee wide in the right hand side. Jack McKenzie nowhere to be seen. He is now, he gets back, he covers, it's a corner. Let's go to Brian at Ammanvale. All right, let's not go to Brian at Ammanvale, and I can tell you that I think Ross County have the ball in the net, but they're just checking for a possible offside, so I will confirm that as soon as possible. I don't think I could have given Brian a bigger build-up than I did, as Dundee prepare to take a corner right in front of their supporters over there. Owen Beck we will go to Ammanvale in a moment, but not whilst Dundee have got this corner to be taken by Beck. I've told you the situation as it stands. We will get confirmation either way for you after this. An in-swinging corner coming up from Beck right now. The referee Nick Walsh, well, he's not happy with something inside the area. He's just waiting to give Beck the go-ahead to take this corner, and it will be now. The unknown Liverpool player, second loan spell of the season, to take in front of that big Dundee away crowd over there on the far side in the south stand. Beck with it, delivering into the centre of the goal. It goes, flicked away. Did McKenzie get a touch? He's claiming he didn't as it goes behind, and it will be a goal kick. And now it is the one and only Brian McLaughlin.
Yes, good evening, Liam. We're still waiting to find out if this goal is going to stand. It was Simon Murray who fired the ball high into the roof of the net. It was a wonderful through ball by Jan Danda. The flag, when the ball was into the net, went up immediately, but the goal has now been given, and it's a huge goal for Ross County. They lead Livingston here with 29 minutes on the clock by 1-0. Simon Murray on target. The goal initially chalked off for offside, but after a review, well, the goal has been given by referee Alan Muir. Livingston 0, Ross County 1.
It's just massive, isn't it? Livingston, without a win in the league in 14 outings, find themselves behind yet again in the battle of the bottom two. It's Dundee here, 0-0 with Aberdeen. Long ball from Silla, comes all the way through and was behind for the goal kick. And whilst Aberdeen, after tonight, have got Celtic and Rangers, Ross County have got Motherwell and St Johnstone in their next two, Aberdeen could very quickly be sucked into a battle to get out of that 11th place, the way things are going.
Yeah, it's worrying times, and the crowd are now starting to turn ever so slightly, which is exactly what Tony Docherty would have wanted.
Yeah, you need to have big character to be able to handle this situation. It's a test for the Aberdeen players out there.
Here comes Nicky Devlin charging down the right hand side up against Beck, trying to take him on. Beck just gets between he and the ball and just pinches it back. There's Owen Beck, and he's driving out of defence, but he's played and took on too much there. It's pinched off him by Sockler, shinning out to Clarkson. Now Milne, cross ball into the box. Touch from Sockler, goes down. The referee gives Aberdeen the penalty. Esther Sockler chopped to the deck. I think it was Shaughnessy, and Aberdeen have a penalty after almost 29 minutes here against Dundee.
Yeah, the cross comes in. It's not a particularly good cross from the right hand side, and I think it is Joe Shaughnessy that goes into the back of Sockler. Didn't, you know, we'll get a little rerun of it.
Yeah, Willie and Rory have got the benefit of a monitor here at
Penalty kick all day long. It's a penalty kick, the right decision. Sockler, it's not like Shaughnessy, to be fair. It's not like him. He's far too eager to get the ball. He's trying to run through Sockler to get it, and that is the correct decision in my view.
He's dived in. He's nowhere near the ball, Joe Shaughnessy, and he's just taken the player. So, you know, bad judgment from the Dundee captain.
Well, Aberdeen have been awarded 3 penalties this season. Miovski's taken all of them. He scored twice against St Mirren and St Johnstone, failed against Hibs. And this is a chance to break the deadlock at Pittodrie. What a massive goal this could be for Aberdeen and for their manager. Bojan Miovski stands hands and hips, left-footed penalty coming up. Nick Walsh just speaking to Trevor Carson, the goalkeeper. There are worse goalkeepers when it comes to saving penalties than Trevor Carson in the Dundee goal. He's pulled off some spectacular saves from penalties in the past. Miovski being made to wait here. The Aberdeen supporters are impatient. This is a big moment here coming in at Pittodrie. Bojan Miovski, Aberdeen's number 9 and start of the season, left-footed, scores! Bottom right corner! Carson guessed correctly, but the North Macedonian was pinpoint there to find the net and give Aberdeen the lead in what you feel for their manager is a must-win game. It is Aberdeen 1, Dundee 0, and it is an 18th goal of the season for Bojan Miovski.
I think it takes a lot of pressure off the players actually out there as well, because the crowd were beginning to turn, but Miovski is about accuracy. You know, he's hit it with the kind of inside of the foot as well. It's always curling away from Carson in goal, and it hits the side net, so really accurate penalty from the top striker.
Yeah, it hits the side netting, and Liam, you said the keeper goes the right way, but it hits the back of the net, and more often than not, if that's the case, it's a good penalty, especially a keeper like Trevor Carson. But we've been giving him a lot of praise, Owen Beck. I think he'll look back at the possession he gave away unnecessarily, trying to beat too many players in his own half, which led to the incident, and obviously Joe Shaughnessy's been a little bit rash with the challenge.
Yeah, he's got to think more about that, Joe Shaughnessy, isn't he? I mean, he's experienced enough that you shouldn't be diving in the penalty box unless you're 100% certain that you're going to get it, and he was nowhere near it.
No, he wasn't
near the ball.
So Aberdeen lead here, Ross County lead at Ammanvale. Livingston becoming severely cut adrift the bottom of the Premiership. That Simon Murray goal, after it was initially ruled out for offside, eventually awarded in West Lothian, so leads for County and for Aberdeen. And as the guys were saying, the home support was beginning to turn on the players. That has come at a brilliant moment for them. Devlin goes back to McDonald. Both teams have had chances. Rory felt before a ball was kicked that Aberdeen would need to score twice to win tonight. They don't keep many clean sheets. In fact, it's just 7 all season for Kellarus. This is his 34th game, so Dundee will look at that statistic and feel every chance they'll score, and Bakayoko really should have earlier on. As Robinson gives chase down the left, it's just flicked away from him by Devlin. Clarkson goes back into his own penalty area, rolls it to Roos, who comes out to Devlin on this near side. As Cove Rangers turn things around against Brora, having been 1-0 down, they are 2-1 up in that Scottish Cup 4th round tie.
Brilliant from Miovski, really good. Nicky Devlin is way back the pitch, he's under a bit of pressure, he just launches the ball up. It is a controlled ball, he is trying to find Miovski, but Miovski gets his body in front, wins the foul and gets his team right up the pitch.
Yeah, and of course that game taking place in the Cup tonight is for the right to visit Kilmarnock in round 5. There's a free kick to Aberdeen on this near side, and Leighton Clarkson is over it. Level with the edge of the centre circle, right hand side of it in the Dundee half, as Aberdeen attack the goal to our right. And it comes, it's helped on its way by Jensen, but it's a comfortable take for Trevor Carson. Aberdeen 1, Dundee 0 on 34.
Yeah, good time to get the goal as well. You know, I don't think it's been anything you know, near the top form from the home side, but you know, you get a kind of a gift like that and you take advantage of it, and it just takes the pressure off. It allows the fans to again you know, have hope that Barry can turn things around.
Boateng was caught by McGrath, who is yellow carded for his troubles. Be the 3rd booking of the evening, and the first for an Aberdeen player following Malachi Boateng and Owen Dodgson of Dundee. And that is a free kick for the visitors, just about 6 yards away from the edge of the centre circle, right to centre. Rory.
Yeah, he's high and late, and I do think that one is a legitimate yellow card.
Beck takes the free kick to the left-hand side of the box, headed away by Devlin, who was being impeded by Ashcroft, says the referee, and that will be an Aberdeen free kick inside their own penalty area. And a bit of an anti-climax for the Dundee supporters over on the far side. Lee Ashcroft, who's making just his 10th appearance of the season. He's had his injury problems, of course, and all these changes at Dundee, and Lee Ashcroft continues.
Yeah, and Portales' injury, you know, he was a mainstay, has definitely helped Lee Ashcroft. I think Tony Docherty did feel that Ashcroft was capable of playing in the side, but he just couldn't get in, and then when Portales was injured, it opened a door for him.
By all accounts, the second Cove Rangers goal's been chalked off for whatever reason. Anyway, it's now back to 1-1 in that match. Cove Rangers, Brora Rangers, former Highland League adversaries down the years, of course. Cove currently in the 3rd tier of the SPFL and trying to get back to the Championship. Looking for a cup run as well. Here is Angus MacDonald for Aberdeen, slipping it to the left for Jensen. There's Dundee out of the Scottish Cup. A really disappointing outcome for them at Rugby Park in the last round, and as I said, it will be Kilmarnock who will play whichever of the Rangers sides comes through that tie tonight. Aberdeen have got Bonnyrigg Rose here in the wake of those difficult fixtures against Celtic and Rangers to come over the next 7 days. Champions are here on Saturday, then Aberdeen go to Ibrox next Tuesday night. And Shaughnessy picking up the scraps at the back, just playing it to his right for Ashcroft. He turns it back to McGee, dinks it forward with the right foot, high ball into the Aberdeen half, is one in the air there by MacDonald. He goes out of play off MacDonald. Lassie's a referee. Dundee have a throw in south stand side on the Dundee right. It's bowled back by Jordan McGee as we tick on to 37 minutes. Aberdeen 1, Dundee 0. It is Livingston 0, Ross County 1 in the other game in the Premiership being played tonight. Long ball from Carson, headed away by Jensen up to halfway. Here's Graham Shinney chasing down the left and down the line for Miovski. Miovski looking to get round Shaughnessy on the left-hand side. Support arriving in the middle now. Miovski going back the way, going to ground. McGee's challenge, no foul, says the referee. And comes bouncing off Shinney and out for a Dundee throw-in over on the far side.
Yeah, it was good work, good footwork from Miovski initially. He was struggling for a bit of support. I think he was looking around, hoping that some of his teammates could get up with him. Eventually loses possession. I've got to say, it's not been a great game of football though, has it? It's competitive enough. I think it's quick enough at times as well, but you're looking for a spark. The only thing we've got is that penalty that was really a dreadful decision from Joe Shaughnessy to go into the challenge. It was well taken, a penalty, but other than that,
I think it's the formations as well, Willie. They're both playing 3-5-2. They're man for man. There's not a lot of space. It's very scrappy, the game, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of high balls as well, a lot of aerial stuff. You would want Aberdeen to try and dominate the ball a little bit more, try to get it down and make the passes. But hey, they've got the lead, so I think that takes an awful lot of pressure off them. And I think Barry will be hoping that they can, perhaps in the second half increase that lead.
Last time Dundee won here, they had to come from behind to do so. Stevie Milne, Stevie Lovell with the goals. 2004. They've always obviously been in the same division though, as McGrath finds Milne right hand side of the Dundee box. Good ball, and Sockler's header is straight at Carson, who's launching a volley of abuse at a couple of his defenders there, and he's in an argument with the skipper Joe Shaughnessy too. He felt that Sockler's header came too easy to him. As it hits 39, it's Aberdeen 1, Dundee 0. Sockler on target. Either side, he might have been giving Carson more bother.
Yeah, he's probably right, because it's a huge amount of space. He's managed to get a couple of yards inside the box off of the defender, so I think the goalkeeper's got every right to give them a hard time. But Sockler should do better, I think.
That's harsh, Willie.
Do you think so?
He's coming back the way.
I think his movement's really good. I think his movement is, back the part. But I think, you've got to anticipate that you're going to get the header, and I think then you've then got to look for, where can I put this, rather than straight at the goalkeeper. I mean, it was straight at Carson. Anything either side of him, he'd at least had to work. So I'm sorry, it might be hard, but I'm not taking away my opinion of that one. I'm sorry.
No, that's fair enough. I just felt it was a wee bit behind him. He would have had to really use his neck muscles to try and get any real power behind it. But it was good play by Aberdeen down the right hand side. Some quick passes.
Yeah, Willie used to watch Eric Black score those kind of goals all the time. He's set such high standards in that team. As Cameron picks up and rolls it out to Beck on this near side, bobbles off him though and breaks McGrath's way. Good skill to shuffle away from Owen Beck. It's a lovely pass to Shinney. Miovski and Sockler ahead of him. Shinney up towards the edge of the penalty area, left hand side of it. It's a chip ball to the back post. Milne heads it down, bounces off Dodgson. Miovski on the turn at the edge of the penalty area, drags it back on his side, back to Milne at the right angle of the box, to Clarkson, to Milne again on this near side. Short to Miovski, level with the Dundee penalty spot, back to Milne, right foot cross ball comes in, headed away by Ashcroft. Won back by McGrath. Jensen's header, Milne's not going to get there, Beck does, and he just hoofs it into the Aberdeen half with the left foot. Breaks off McDonald, then McGrath, but McGrath loses out to Boateng. And now it's Dundee with Robinson back into the centre circle for Cameron.
It's like an ice rink out there at the moment. Everybody's slipping and falling, but I tell you what, Bojan Miovski is a joy to watch. He really is. He plucked that ball out the air with his toes so well, and then a little step over. He's just really good a really good football player. Bojan Miovski.
I think 51 hours is all Aberdeen need to negotiate now. I hope that the window closes without a suitable offer coming in for Bojan Miovski, but I think you're talking a fee in excess of what they got for Calvin Ramsey a couple of years ago. I think you're looking at, to tempt Aberdeen to sell him at this point in this window. They're not going to want to sell because they'll want time to find another striker, although I do understand that the forward area is something that they may well be looking at between now and Thursday night, but it's going to take around, I think, 5-6 million.
I think he'd be worth every penny. What is he, 22, 23 year old? His finishing ability his hold-up play.
He's 24 now, yeah.
Oh, he's 24.
Yeah.
His intelligence.
Yeah.
I think he's wonderful. I really do.
International player as well, you know, that takes his standing and his price up too. But yeah, I mean, if you're doing your job properly, if you're in recruitment at other teams, then you've got to be looking at him.
Yeah, the vast majority of his Aberdeen goals have come here at Pittodries. Dundee prepared to take a free kick through Dodgson, level the edge of the centre circle, about 10 yards from the near side touchline. Barry Robson has his eyes trained directly on Dodgson, who's going to take this free kick and put it into the Aberdeen box. There seems to be a slight delay here. I'm not sure what it is they're possibly checking, but Nick Walsh isn't looking at the free kick. There's a possible red card for serious foul play. So I'm not seeing a replay of what it was, Will.
I think it was a challenge in the midfield there, was it not? When it was it Lyle Cameron that went down? I think Lyle Cameron went down. Not too sure. Was it Leighton Clarkson? I'm just trying to rewind. I didn't see anything that looked like serious foul play, so I'm just throwing things out
game
there.
On. Game on. No red.
No wonder.
Well, there's been a sensational goal at Ammonvale, Brian.
Sensational equaliser for the home side, a crossing from the right hand side. Indeed, I'm told it was a goal, and yes, it is a goal for Livingston. Yeah, the goal was scored by number 8 Scott Pittman. The cross came in, the header down, I think it was from Guthrie initially, and then stepped Pittman to knock the ball into the back of the net. They've just retaken centre here. We're now into stoppage time here at Ammonvale, and the scoreline is Livingston 1, Ross County 1.
And Scott Pittman, second of the season. He scored against Motherwell a couple of weeks ago. Well, in that game at Fir Park, see, a couple of weeks ago, it was a couple of games ago, but of course it was the end of December. Long ball for Dundee. Robinson chasing. Jensen's the covering player, and he does well this time. A shaky start to proceedings. He clears with the left foot. We're into the final minute of the opening 45, with Aberdeen leading by that Miovski goal to nil. It's 1-1 in that game at Ammonvale. Livingston 14 league matches without a win. Just that Scottish Cup victory over Raith Rovers to show for their efforts over the last few months. As Shinnie knocks it back to McKenzie, long left-footed ball forward. Miovski coming back from an offside position. He comes all the way through to Clarkson, but he can't get onto it, and it's through to Carson, and finds Dodgson, who's under a bit of pressure there. He did well to dig himself out of it. Back to his keeper, who goes long into the Aberdeen half. Devlin wins the header ahead of Bakayoko. It's going to break back Nicky Devlin's way on this near side. It's a long ball forward. Sockler going after it. The header away by Dodgson, and then Silla caught by Shinnie. Free kick to Dundee, and it looks as though 2 minutes are going to be added on at the end of the first half here at Pittodrie, and we're into the first of those. It's Aberdeen 1, Dundee 0.
I think Luke McCowan's been a miss for Dundee. A little bit of composure in midfield. It's been like a hot potato at times. They can't get rid of it quick enough. I'm looking at times, you know, Dundee have taken a few free kicks, and it seems to catch the wind and fly into the arms of the keeper. But I'm looking at the corner flag. It doesn't seem particularly windy, but there's players losing their footing. The conditions don't look great, but looking down there, it seems quite calm.
The flags over in the south stand are waving a little bit, but yeah, there's going to be really bad winds apparently across the entire country tomorrow early morning, but tonight we're meant to be pretty benign. And as Rory says, some of the high balls...
Just as I'm arriving home then, Liam.
Yeah, good luck with that. Throw in for Jensen over on the far side. Midway inside his own half, looking for Miovski. He's just been beaten out of possession by Silla, and it's touched back the keeper by Devlin. Roos clears. Wasn't decisive, but Miovski's made it work, just freeing himself of Silla. He's driving forward. Bojan Miovski rolls it low out to Milne on this near side. First time back to Jamie McGride. Sockler waiting in the box. To Clarkson, then to Milne, widen the right hand side level with the 18 of Dundee. To McGrath, gets his cross in. Headed clear by Ashcroft. McGrath's header, looking to knock it through towards Miovski, and Shockness is there to nod it back to his goalkeeper. It's so important that Dundee don't concede again before the break. It is half-time in Ammonvale. Livingston 1, Ross County 1. Pittman cancelling out Murray's opener for the Staggies. You get a half-time report from Brian very soon. The half-time whistle's going in the other games. The two in League Two are at half-time East 5-0, Spartans 0, 1-1 Elgin Clyde, and 1-1 in that Scottish Cup 4th round tie between Brora and Cove. And it's half time here as well at Pittodrie, and the Aberdeen supporters will be a bit happier than they were before a ball was kicked. It hasn't been a brilliant performance by any stretch from either team, really. Both have missed opportunities, but it's Bojan Mijovski's penalty that separates the two teams after Shaughnessy's clumsy challenge on Sockler on 31 minutes. Mijovski with the penalty low into the bottom right corner to settle some Aberdeen nerves, and it was round about that time, just before the spot kick was awarded, that the home fans are really beginning to turn on the players. Every loose ball was being berated. There was discontent amongst the fans. Big crowd up from Dundee as well, and they'll be crestfallen because that chance for Amadou Bakayoko was their best opportunity. It came on 12 minutes after a blunder by Richard Jensen over on the far side. Zach Robinson won it back off him, drove forward, right hand side of the box, looked like he put it on a plate for Bakayoko, who on the stretch couldn't make contact. You felt any kind of slight contact was probably going to take it into the net. That was their best chance, and that means at half time here at Pittodrie, and a huge night in particular you feel for Barry Robson. It is Aberdeen 1, Dundee 0.
The Scottish Premiership.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Yes, as Liam said, a big game here at Pittodrie this evening. Aberdeen with advantage at half-time. That Bojan Mijovski, what a penalty it was on 31 minutes after a really poor challenge from Joe Shaughnessy. Another huge game at Amon Vale this evening. Livingston against Ross County. There for us, Brian McLaughlin.
Livingston won, Ross County won the first 20 minutes or so. Pretty much nothing happened at all. It looked as if both sides were settling for a draw. Livingston, the side who made the first impact in the game, though. Penrice with a cross that had the Ross County goalkeeper George Wicken scrambling across his line to tip away from the danger area. Then on the half-hour mark, the opening goal of the game, Danda with a quite magnificent ball down the wing. Simon Murray raced onto it and from a very acute angle fired the ball high into the roof of the net. The assistant linesman here, Jonathan Bell, raised his flag for offside, but the VAR referee Chris Graham did a check, and it proved, television evidence did prove, that Murray was onside and the goal was allowed to stand. That though seemed to galvanise Livingston. They had the better of the game after that, because a couple of crosses into the box, what Arthur Montford would have called a stramash inside the box before the visitors' defence clear. Oblai then had a shot that was just wide of goal. Ross County then looked to be in a perfect position to score a second goal. Kella again from a very similar position from the first goal. This time he crossed the ball into the path of Murray, but the ball just couldn't get out from underneath his feet and the chance was gone. Then into stoppage time and the equaliser came. Simple cross into the box. Guthrie won a header, knocked into the path of Pittman, who fired in from close range. And then still in stoppage time, it looked as if Livingston had a golden opportunity to take the lead. Stephen Bradley from around 12 yards out, but he fired wide off the target. What a difference a goal makes. The Livingston fans, I'm sure, were getting ready to boo their team off at half time, but instead they were given a round of applause by the home fans here at Livingston. It's Livingston 1, Ross County 1.
Brian will keep us fully updated on that one. In the fourth round of the Scottish Cup, Brora Rangers 1, Cove Rangers 1. Tony Dingwall with the opener on 30 minutes for the home side. Mitch Megginson with equaliser on 22. Two games in League 2 this evening, both at half-time. East Fife 0, Spartans 0, Elgin City 1, Clyde 1. Liam Scullion for the wayside on 7 minutes. Russell Dingwall with equaliser 2 minutes later. The main event tonight comes from Pittodrie. Aberdeen with the advantage at half-time at Willie Miller. Your thoughts on that first half performance from the Dons?
I think it's been okay, Kenny. I don't think it's been anything spectacular. I think the game in general has been poor. I think Dundee haven't really created anything at all. I don't actually know what they're trying to achieve. It seems to be just a long ball up, and they've got very little support from midfield. When they do get possession in the mid area, they don't do very much with it. A couple of chances before the penalty. I think Aberdeen's been handed the lead, actually. Joe Shaughnessy will be looking at that, and he's got to question his decision making and diving into that challenge. Just should not have happened. Mijovski looks a class act. Well, no, he is a class act. I think Aberdeen midfield have been disappointing. The wing backs have got up on occasions and put in decent crosses, but I think generally it's just been a poor game. I don't know, I just haven't been able to get any enthusiasm or excitement up for it. I think I'm really disappointed in Dundee as well. I was expecting more from them.
Yep.
They haven't really had much cohesion. It's been very patchy and very simple and straightforward, long high balls, and not a great deal in between.
No, I watched Dundee at Livingston on Saturday, and they were very good for large portions of that match. I watched them last week at Tynecastle, and for the first half, it's as good a performance away to Hearts as you're likely to see. They were excellent. Yes, they let themselves down in the second half. So coming here tonight, I genuinely thought they would come and there would be a goal threat and they would try and take the game to Aberdeen. But as Willie says, it's not really happened that way. I thought their midfield three started well, but then kind of fell out the game a little bit. We're getting caught underneath the ball quite a lot, and we're overall, I agree with Willie. I think I've been really quite disappointed with Dundee, and that'll happen at times, newly promoted side and all the rest of it. But I've given them a lot of praise, so it's only fair that when they're underperforming, you say it. And I do think they've contributed to overall a really poor match. It's been very, very scrappy, Kenny, and not particularly enjoyable. I see Josh Mulligan's doing a warm-up on his own by himself away from the others, so I just wonder whether changes in the offing. I think a change of shape would help. I really do. You laughing at me, Willie?
No, we're hearing laughter in the background, but it's not what you're saying. There's a bit of laughter going on in the background there. It's good to see some smiling faces here at Pittodrie.
That is true. I think a change of shape would help. Probably both sides, but I think they're cancelling each other out, Kenny. It's 3-5-2. It's a longer ball. You've got three in the midfield competing against each other. You've got the three centre backs against the two strikers. And it's not making for a great spectacle at all.
I can see that in your face and in your body language, and Willie's the same. It's been disappointing, Willie, but Rory touched in commentary. I don't go out to as many games these days. Sometimes you kind of need to see a player in the flesh. Bojan Miovski, his movement, his touch, he is special, isn't he?
And his age.
Yeah.
You've got to take that, you've got to factor that into his value as well. He's came here, he's got the opportunity, he's done magnificently well, he's been a consistent goal scorer since arriving at the club. His all-round game is at the very highest level. He's his quick feet, his footwork, he can beat players. He works hard as well. He's willing to do the hard part of the game as well and work back the part. So I think we've got teams in Scotland, big teams. One of them I'm sure you're aware of, Kenny. Could do worse.
Better places to bring that up, Willie, than here.
Could do worse. That's all right, I'll let Scotty out the park tonight. Yes. Make sure no harm comes to you. But I mean, there's a top quality striker, and Rory will testify to that, knowing that position and what it takes to elude defences and make it difficult for defences, and how to show that calmness whenever you get the opportunity. I just don't think at times this season he's had enough opportunities.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I was going to touch on, because if you think, look, Liam said I think he scored 18 goals, I'm sure somebody out there will be saying, oh, he's scored 7-8 penalties, fine. He's still scored a lot of goals, and I'd love to see what his conversion rate is, because if you stick him in a team that's creating chances and is free flowing, and he showed it last season as well when Aberdeen hit a bit of form towards the back end of the season. But could you imagine him playing at the top end of a team who are firing on all cylinders, getting the ball out wide, getting crosses into the box, and really utilising them to his full capabilities? I think he would be unstoppable.
Well, as things stand for Barry Robson, I'm sure things will be absolutely fine for him. He gets the win tonight. But I'd just like to get your thoughts, because you've been in the boardroom, and I touched on it. I've got it sitting in front of me here, the flyers that were handed out. We saw the pictures on social media, fans calling for change, they've had enough, calling the board to act. If you're in the boardroom now and you see that sort of fan pressure, you come to the games, you hear it, you feel it. We've not heard from Dave Cormack, we've not heard from Alan Burrows. Is that the right approach, the only approach for them right now?
I think it's a really difficult situation, Kenny, because if you come out and back the manager, then usually what goes with that is he gets sacked within 2 or 3 weeks, isn't it?
Aye, true.
You've got the backing of the board, and that is never a true statement. You've got the backing of the board to the next game, I would suggest. I think where Barry is he's got to try and turn it round. Listen, I'm not you know, inside Pittodrie. I'm not watching them work. You know, Rory's talking about the players really enjoying the training. I think that's important, and that definitely gets filtered through to the boardroom. It's really important that the players are with them, because if you start losing the players, then, you know, chairman, there's always someone that's willing to have a wee whisper in the chairman's ear about stuff like that. So, you know, if you still get the players back in, and that's the way he spoke all season, that's great. This game tonight, listen, he just has to win this game tonight.
Can I ask you something, Willie? See if the second half goes exactly how the first half goes. There's no goals. It's scrappy. It's no enjoyable. Barry Robson said before the game, it's all about winning matches. I just need to win matches. Yeah. Does he come out of this game, if it continues like this, at 1-0 with more credit in the bank or less credit in the bank, or where does he sit after that if it is like this? Because he says it's all about winning games, but surely he would like to see his team produce a little bit more.
Oh, without doubt. You know, I think although Barry sometimes, you know, he comes out after the game and it's, you know, I see a game and he sees a game and it's not the same game that we're both watching. But that's just the way he manages. You know, that's his personality. He's very bullish. I think he would be disappointed, but I don't see him coming out, you know, after this game, even if the game went the same way in the second half, and being anything other than bullish. You know, if he gets the 3 points out of this one, this is one of the games that was postponed. You know, this is one of the games that he's trying to play catch up, gets him a little bit closer to the top
more with the
six
fans.
as well.
This finishes 1-0. Do they go home happy, Willie?
The fans will accept it. Yeah, whether they'll go home happy, I'm not so sure. I think they'll go away with the fact, well, it's 3 points, and you know, we kind of a limp on, or Barry limps on to another game. But they're not going to go away happy watching the first half if it's repeated in the second half. No, they're not. And I don't think the leaflets are going to stop either. No, there's going to have to be a big turnaround.
Yes, there is. Well, I was thinking that, because if it stays as it is, it's a 1-0 win, it's a scrappy 1-0 win. If you're a fan here tonight and you're planning on protesting if the result hadn't gone the way of the Dons, what do you do? Do you think, you know, this isn't good enough, and we can't see signs of progress here despite a scrappy win tonight? Do you know what? We're going to make our feelings known. Or do you go back and say, look, that's unfair because the team dug something out tonight? It's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, and you have got to show character. You know, you've got to have big personalities. When it was there, wasn't it? The fans were ready to turn. You know, they're kind of in that mood if things aren't going well. And they weren't going well up until they were gifted the penalty, and sometimes in football life that's what you need, isn't it? Because it was a gift. I mean, it was out of nothing. You know, Joe Shaughnessy, I don't know what he's thinking there. He should be more intelligent than he's played in that.
Very unlike him, to be fair.
Yeah. You know, it wasn't. He was nowhere near it, Roddy. He was nowhere near it.
He wasn't.
So what? In terms of Aberdeen, we'll focus that after the game. If there is anything going on outside, we'll have someone there and we'll hear about it, and we'll get some reaction to that. So to be fair to Aberdeen, they're doing the business right now, albeit it's not pretty. Both you guys saying you've been disappointed in terms of what we've seen from Dundee in that first half. Of course, that great chance that Bakayoko just couldn't get on top of at the back post. Rory, you look through the substitutes he's got tonight. What will he be looking to change, Tony Dock?
I don't think they've shown enough composure in midfield, and they've missed McCowan. And I thought, I really did think the midfield pairing of Silla and Boateng was really combative, and you know, they're big players in terms of their build and things, and they can get around the pitch. But I just don't think they've got to grips with the game particularly well. I think Lyle Cameron's played on the periphery. So, you know, looking at the bench, Scott Tiffany's got a little bit more in terms of running at players, and you know, potentially maybe look at him as the game goes on. But if he is going to put Josh Mulligan on at half time, which I think he might, I think that's simply just to try and get a better foothold in the game. And in terms of the midfield, get your foot on the ball and pass it and get it wide to Owen Beck, get it wide to Jordan McGee, who is maybe not the most natural wing back. He scored a great goal at Tynecastle. I just don't think they've had any control of the first half, and whilst they wouldn't expect here to come here and dominate possession, there will be periods of the game where they would expect to have a little bit of control, and that's been missing. And the most disappointing thing is it's been missing when they've been under not a lot of pressure at times. Yeah,
and Willie, I felt they looked quite nervy, quite shaky at the back, dodging a couple of times, just seemed to get away with one. We know what Lee Ashcroft is. He's a big solid centre half. Again, he's looked a bit shaky tonight, and actually the man that we bigged up and the Dundee fans delighted to see back here, of course, Owen Beck, was actually his mistake that led to the penalty.
Yeah, he's done a lot of good things, but he's also gave possession away far too easily as well at times when he hasn't really been under that much pressure. I think he's one of these players that's all action, very direct. Maybe he just needs to slow down a little bit, if I can say that to him, and try to think a little bit more about his game, but obviously one for the future. I've just been really disappointed with Dundee. I was expecting so much more from them. I'm not too sure what they're trying to achieve, whether it's actually to try and play through the midfield, because I'm not seeing that. And if you're playing it long, then there's not much support up there to try to win the second ball when it comes back. So really disappointed with them, but I'm not that much further ahead with Aberdeen. They've been the better side, they deserve to be in the lead, but they got a gift with that penalty, I must say. And from a creative point of view, I haven't seen enough. There should be more when you're playing at home against Dundee at Pittodrie.
I said I covered St Mirren at the start of the season, right in the Betfred Cup stages, and I actually interviewed Stephen Robinson, and I said there's a reason why you went from the 3-5-2 to the 3-4-3, and what he said was he found playing the 3-5-2 was fine, but when it got to a certain stage in the season and both teams were playing that formation, and I've touched on this in the first half, it just became horrible. It became horrible, and both teams were just the same shape. And I don't think at this moment in time there's a world of difference between Aberdeen and Dundee in terms of the players on the pitch. So if you're considering that, and then considering they've got the same formation, it really does come down to fine margins, like a mistake by Joe Shaughnessy, and it doesn't make for a great game of football. So it'll be interesting to see if there is a tweak in shape by any side.
Yeah, Aberdeen first out, they are ready to go, still waiting for the Dundee team to come out, although I can just see their fans now. Yeah, they're coming out the tunnel there, and the fans applauding them over on the far side. You'd have to say a good turnout from the Dundee supporters.
Great,
over on the
Kenny,
far side,
isn't it? I mean, it should be applauded. Absolutely, fantastic turnout from the Dundee supporters. I think it just shows you the confidence that they've got, enjoying a really good season under Tony Dock. I knew that Derek McInnes was holding him back all his career.
Do you know what? I was watching, I've seen it so many times. You know, the Derek McInnes, when he throws his arms up in the air, he's not, and it's like a clone down there at times watching Tony Dock with the mannerisms. Right, let's get you back underway here. Just to confirm, one apiece through Almond. Brian will keep us updated on that with the main event tonight here at Pittodrie. 1-0 to the Dons at half time. Let's get back to Willie, Rory and Liam McLeod.
Well, Dundee have only won one of the last 20 meetings between the sides. A 2-1 victory at Dens a couple of seasons ago. Griffiths and McCowan scoring the goals. Dundee are making a change at the interval. Josh Mulligan has come on to the pitch, and he has replaced Mohamed Silla by the looks of things. So one of the Dundee graduates entering the fray. So that is the only change for the start of the second half. And Aberdeen kick off, going right to left in the red and gold, Dundee in the dark blue and white. Go left to right towards the King Street Merklin Road end. Red shed, as Devlin is adjudged to have fouled his man over on the far side, Robinson. That's going to be a free kick for Dundee. Rory, talk us through that Dundee alteration.
Yeah, like I said, in the midfield I don't think they've had a lot of control, and it's been very physical in there. And when the ball has dropped to the feet of Boateng, he's not maybe made the most of it at times, and neither has Silla. And it's Silla who's ended up off the pitch. So I think I'll be hoping that Mulligan can get in and around Shinnie, who's won a lot of second balls, and get further up the pitch. Maybe track his runs a little bit better, because Shinnie's ran off the back of Silla a couple of times. And when he does get the ball after doing that defensive work, be a little bit more creative with it.
He was a major player for Dundee last season under Gary Boyer on their way to the championship title. Was Josh Mulligan. He comes on. Long ball from Kelleroos down that right-hand side. Aberdeen unchanged, hasn't stayed in play, so it's a throw-in. It is an Aberdeen throw-in. Roos in goal, Milne, McDonald, Jensen at the back for them, with Devlin and McKenzie wide, Shinnie and Clarkson in the middle, McGrath supporting Miovski and Sockler. Dundee with Carson in goal. Got Shaughnessy, Ashcroft, Dodgson, McGee and Beck wide, Boateng, Mulligan and Cameron, Bakayoko and Robinson. He's going out to play for a Dundee throw-in this time over there, with Aberdeen leading by that Miovski penalty to 0. Throwing down that left-hand side, up the line it goes. Aberdeen pinch it back with Sockler, flicks it into the midfield, one back by Mulligan. First real touch of the ball for him, just flicking it infield to Cameron, and then Cameron continues the move out to McGee on the right-hand side. Back onto the halfway line for Boateng, and then De Shaughnessy, and the Dundee skipper rolls it out to the left-hand side. And slipped infield by Dodgson for Boateng, and back to Shaughnessy. Long ball from Shaughnessy, who had the spell early in his career at Aberdeen under Derek McInnes and Tony Docherty, reunited with the latter at Dens in the summer after a fruitful spell at St Mirren. That goes out for an Aberdeen throw-in to be taken by Richard Jensen just inside his own half, right in front of the Dundee technical area. Jensen looking for some movement. He's actually got some from Miovski if he can find him. Miovski did well there. He tries to hook it into the path of Sockler down the left. He can't find him, and it's out for a Dundee throw-in over on this near side. Did Dundee show enough, Willie, in that? Sorry, I'll let you say what you were going to say.
I'm just going to say that the midfield looks a lot better. I mean, it's very early in the second half, but with that substitution, you know, Mulligan coming on, I think it gives them more football players in there, doesn't it? You know, and I'm sure that what he's hoping for.
There's a chance though. Jamie McGrath's in, and it's a great save by Carson. Well, he saved it with his foot. McGrath must have thought he was making it 2-0, but he's denied by the Dundee goalkeeper. As he plays it back to McKenzie, it's a big high up and under ball swung into the area. Might break to Shinnie here, taken away from him by Cameron. McGrath going after it, little spin and turn, then eventually he loses out to Mulligan, who clears for Dundee. Willie, that's a huge chance for Jamie McGrath, and it looked, for all the money, that he was going to put Aberdeen 2-0 up there. It stays at 1.
Yeah, just a little bit too straight of the goalkeeper. I mean, decent save, you know, from Carson, but I think Jamie McGrath, the quality that he's got, you know, he should be looking to put that either side of the goalkeeper, probably the far side of the goal. I would have suggested that would have been his spot, but you know, he struck it well enough, not 100% sweet, but at the same time, you know, Carson's in the right spot.
He gets a decent enough connection on it, doesn't he? But I just think that, as you quite rightly say, Willie, when you know that player has got so much quality, you know, he's capable of finding that far corner, but right at Carson.
And come Aberdeen's good footwork by McGrath, popping it through. Sockler takes a touch, shoots and scores, but the flag goes up against Esther Sockler. His arms outstretched in celebration, but then he had to put his hands up to his face in frustration. There's the goal immediately ruled out. The flag from Ross Nelson, the South Stand side linesman, was up quickly, and it stays Aberdeen 1, Dundee 0 for now, but they will check it.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. My initial instinct was he was probably just off. It was a good through ball, really clever through ball, but I think he's maybe just timed his run a little bit early.
Took it well though, didn't he? You know.
Oh jeez, it's tight.
Yeah. They're going to have to get the lines in that one, I would think. And as he's just coming on, you know, from the blind side of the defender as well, into the space. Great pass in, you know, very good finish as well. He'll be hugely disappointed if the linesman is correct with that
This is so tight.
decision that he's made.
This is so tight. Spartans, by the way, 2-0 up on East Fife.
If history tells us anything, I think we could be waiting a wee while here, Liam.
Yeah, well, we're all getting used to this now, aren't we? They'll have to get the lines out, because it is that close when you look at it. It's a nervy wait, this, for Tony Docherty and for Dundee. Esther Sockler, he scored twice for Aberdeen. Both good finishes, one in Dingwall against Ross County, and here in the Conference League against Frankfurt. Just offside by the looks of it, game on, and it stays at 1-0.
Oh, tight one. He'll be disappointed, won't he? You could see it in his face there. Sockler getting that opportunity and taking it really well. And to have it marginally offside is a huge blow to him.
I would hate that as a striker. I really would.
Must be thankful you're not playing now then.
Yeah.
Here come Dundee, Mulligan. How important will that be? Dundee go 2-0 down. They're struggling. 1-0 down, still very much in it. Boateng out to Ashcroft on the near side. Forward it comes to Robinson. Works it infield to Mulligan. Square ball with the right foot to the left for Dodgson. Out to Owen Beck, level with the 18-yard line. Infield to Mulligan, to Cameron. Gets the break of the ball. An effective 1-2 with Clarkson. Back to Cameron on the left-hand side of the box. Pulls it across. McDonald missed it. Jensen dummied it for some reason. Fortunately for him, it breaks to McGee on the right-hand side of the penalty area, not in a more dangerous position. He goes back all the way into the Dundee half for Shaughnessy. The Aberdeen defence getting away with it there, big time. Why is Richard Jensen dummying the ball on his 6-yard line?
I think he's maybe frightened that he's going to put it in his own net, Liam. That's the only excuse that I could give it. But great Lyle Cameron hitting the byline and putting the cross right across the face of the goal.
Dodgson on the left-hand side with a cross, wins the corner. Off McGrath. Over on that left-hand side is Dundee try and find themselves an equaliser here. 52.5 on the clock. 1-0 Aberdeen lead. And it remains 1-1 between Livingston and Ross County in the other game in the Premiership tonight.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was incessant pressure by Dundee there, but it's the first time they've maintained, you know, a level of pressure through good controlled play, as I spoke about, which was lacking in the first half. Mulligan has made a difference in the early stages of this second half, but Beck and Dodgson combining well down that left-hand side, and better signs from Tony Docherty's side.
Corner coming for Dundee here then, over on that left-hand side. It's a low one, back to Beck, the left angle of the box. Back out wide it comes to Dodgson, then back to Beck, gets the cross ball in. There's a header and goal from Ashcroft, and it's a brilliant save by Kellaroos to put it over the bar, tipping it over at the expense of a corner.
Well, I don't know what Willie thinks, but I mean, that was in effect a short corner played, you know, back the way. 2 or 3 passes in exchange. It takes Aberdeen forever to get out and put pressure on the ball.
Because it's inside the 6-yard box as well, isn't it? Where the header eventually comes from. But you're right, you know, more pressure earlier, I would suggest, when they're, you know, playing that kind of a, you know, short corner.
Hugely congested 6-yard box here, isn't it?
Hugely, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's the majority of the players are in the 6-yard box ahead of this Dundee corner, which will be taken from this main stand side. Trevor Kellaroos is absolutely surrounded by players from both sides.
And you just know if there's a decision to be made, it'll go in the defending team's favour.
Says the striker.
Quite right.
We'll see.
Beck waits to take. Now he can. A bit more movement in the box now. Beck drifts it to the back post area. It's headed down and in. Dundee level. Lee Ashcroft scores! The header from the corner, down into the ground and up into the roof of the net, despite the Aberdeen defenders' best efforts. It's Aberdeen 1, Dundee 1, and it's Lee Ashcroft's first goal of the season.
Well, this is a big test of character for Aberdeen, and it's a poor goal to lose, you have to say. They're putting the goalkeeper and the defence under massive pressure, all piling on the line. There's some header from Lee Ashcroft to get up and rise, and amongst all of those bodies, he's actually been pulled and held as well, headed into the ground and into the roof of the net. Massive goal for Dundee.
Oh, without doubt. I think it's Angus MacDonald that's actually picking them up. He's had the task of making sure he's marking Ashcroft, and he is a threat, we know that. I thought they were checking something there, are they? Still checking?
Well, we've got pictures here, Willie, and it looks as if anything, Ashcroft's been pulled.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything wrong with that.
Oh, they'll find something, I'm sure.
Well, no, game on, 1-1. It is Dundee level. Another cheap goal for Aberdeen to concede in a season of cheap goals that they've been conceding. And Dundee don't care about that. They're level in the game, and that just coming a couple of minutes after Esther Sockler thought he'd put Aberdeen 2-0 up. But now, suddenly, Dundee have the bit between the teeth, and they're coming forward here. The shot from Mulligan's blocked by Jensen. Out to this near side, it's McKenzie. Up into the air it goes. The header from McGee comes off Shinnie and out of play for... I thought a Dundee throw-in was the decision there, but the assistant's given it the other way for Aberdeen. And Jensen will take level the edge of the D. Listen to that away support now. They've come up the 90 today. It's just an hour's journey, but it's still a fabulous away support. Aberdeen take brilliant numbers to Dundee as well. They're playing the dark blue or the tangerine and black side of the city. And a northeast clash here as McKenzie clears. Boateng's header into the midfield. It's well defended by Milne. Here's McGrath looking to get it through to Sockler. Ashcroft had to be careful, and he turns it back to Carson. Dodgson over on that left-hand side with the ball down the left-hand touchline. It's going to find touch only though. In fact, might not even go out. It stayed in. And it's Devlin who has it as we approach 57 minutes. But Tony Docherty will be absolutely elated, will he? His team back on level terms.
He will be, yeah. I mean, I think they've started the second half extremely well. Look, a much better side in that midfield area. As we spoke about in the first half, and I just think the changes made the big difference. Getting a kind of a ball-playing midfield player in there, and Rory, spoke about it early in the second half. I think it's paying dividends, and they get that goal, and it lifts them, doesn't it? It gets their tails up, and it's now the question is on Aberdeen. If they get to the strength of character to fight back and get the another goal and go on and take the full 3 points, because that's what they desperately need tonight. But Dundee are not going to make it easy for them.
For Aberdeen, it's just 4 clean sheets, and this is their 21st league game of the season. I mean, you're only keeping that number of clean sheets.
And it's not as though
struggling.
Dundee split them open with marvellous play there, Liam. It was from a set piece in a corner, and McDonald lost his man.
Well, you think of the goal they lost at St Johnstone last midweek.
Yeah.
Roos didn't cover himself in glory either, did he? He kind of comes out into no man's land as well.
Would you keep him, Willie? Would you keep him?
I think he's a decent goalkeeper, but
would you keep him?
Yeah. But I think he's shown his flaws in recent games. I just think goalkeepers sometimes get too carried away with that mob in front of them, and I felt that he lost his concentration, decided to come out when he didn't really have to come out.
Throw in Dundee, and they're up the pitch, and Joe Shaughnessy's got a good long throw on him. Normally into the box it comes. It's headed back towards Mulligan, away by Shinnie. Back into the area it comes. McDonald heads it clear, and Clarkson flicks it away. Here's Boateng, down the right hand side it goes. Jensen's there for Aberdeen, knocks it up the line for Mackenzie. He's not going to get there, and out it goes for a throw-in, which Lyle Cameron takes. Infield to Bakayoko, back to Cameron. Cameron slipping it to Bakayoko, moves it into the midfield for Mulligan. And Dundee, since they scored, have had just about all the ball. Aberdeen are being passed around pretty easily here, unable to get any kind of possession. And it's Boateng to Bakayoko, first time flicked on by Robinson, breaks to Mulligan, shot blocked by Devlin, and Milne just about gets rid of it, and out it goes for the throw-in. Listen to this place, listen to the home fans here.
Well, that was a really good move, in fairness, from Dundee. Aberdeen should do better, but Mulligan, Bakayoko's first touch with that left foot tonight at times has been really, really good. We spoke about Miovski, he's shown touches of brilliance as well, and it's a well-worked opportunity, and Mulligan thinks about it too much. I think he could pull the trigger earlier. It's a good block in the end.
Ashcroft going all the way back to Carson. Carson with the left foot out to Shaughnessy over on the far side. Aberdeen have 3 games in hand on many of the teams ahead of them in the league, 2 of them against Dundee, including this one. That comes back to Boateng, firing it forward. It's straight to Shinnie though, and Jensen finds McGrath, and now Mackenzie and Aberdeen trying to get a feel of the ball again. Jensen's long ball forwards, won back by Dundee. McGee tossing it forward, looking for Robinson, headed away by Jensen. Shinnie then to Mackenzie, and then Clarkson. He's up and under towards Sockler. McGee's header forward comes to Shinnie, back into the Dundee half where it's cleared by Shaughnessy, flicked on by Bakayoko, but it comes right through to Kellerus. We've played an hour at Pittodrie. Aberdeen 1, Dundee 1. One apiece at Ammanvale it is as well.
I think at times like this, and I've seen it in so many occasions over the years, you really need your big players to stand up to the plate.
There's Sockler from Miovski at the edge of the Dundee box, waiting for support. Goes for Mackenzie wide, drives it across, breaks back towards Mackenzie. The ricochet of McGrath, I think it was, and eventually, in fact, come off Sockler, off a Dundee defender and out for an Aberdeen throw-in on this main stand side, level with the Dundee penalty spot.
It's a much more enjoyable game, Liam. Aberdeen haven't been any better than Dundee in this half, but that was a good move, and Dundee have shown moments as well. It's just all round a much better spectacle for everyone.
It is Aberdeen in possession with Richard Jensen back towards the edge of the centre circle for McDonald, who goes all the way back to his keeper. Wow. Right on top of the Aberdeen players. There's McDonald, decided to go back to his keeper rather than try and force an attack. Let's go to Brian for an update at Ammanvale.
Yeah, 66 minutes on the clock here. Is still Livingston 1, Ross County 1. The home side slightly better in the second period. Lots of crosses into the box, testing the County defence, but as yet there's been no way through. Murray gave County the lead after 28 minutes after a VAR check. Pittman with the equaliser on half-time. Livy 1, Ross County 1.
Yeah, Simon Murray opening the scoring for the Staggies there in that game. His first goal since the start of last month. Dundee win a free kick down in front of us midway inside the Aberdeen half, almost bang centre of the pitch. So 1-1 there. Pittman equalising that Murray goal. Here a Miovski penalty cancelled out by Lee Ashcroft's header in League 2 East. 5-0 Spartans 2, a double from Blair Henderson in that one. In the basement battle, the bottom two, Elgin City 1, Clyde 1 at Borough Briggs. And that Scottish Cup fourth round tie between Brora and Cove is also sitting at 1 apiece. Dundee free kick, everyone bar Trevor Carson's in the Aberdeen half, almost on 63. And the free kick will be taken by Cameron. The Dundee number 10 floats it to the left hand side of the box, headed back down towards the penalty spot. Chance here for Mulligan, though. He's got his back to goal, rolls it back to Cameron. Cameron then back to Boateng on this near side, takes it out to the right hand side. Shinnie for company. Boateng going right down to the byline. Shinnie sliding in. Goal kick's been given, so he's not got any of the ball, Shinnie, which I think a couple of Dundee players asking the referee, well, that's not a free kick in that case, as Boateng went to ground. Anyway, it stays Aberdeen 1, Dundee 1. 63 and a half on the clock. A massive 25 plus minutes coming up here.
Yeah, I mean, it is a free kick. We've just watched a rerun of it. Between them, they've got it wrong, and they're only, 10 yards a piece, the referee and the linesman, away from that incident.
It's not even a difficult decision, is it?
No.
Aberdeen get away with that. Here is Shinnie infield to Clarkson. Rolls it to McKenzie. He has it nicked off him very simply by Jordan McGee. Now it is Zach Robinson in the centre circle, turning it to his left for Lyle Cameron, who's rampaging forward. Taken out to the left-hand side. Rolls it back to Beck. Time to take a touch. Time to find a cross. And it comes. McKenzie ducks. And it will go out for a throw-in on the near side. Not Owen Beck's best, as he apologises to his teammates. 1 apiece.
Yeah, the final ball wasn't great, but the build-up again, Zach Robinson takes a good touch, assesses the situation. I spoke about control. I want to speak about it again because it's so important, and that's why Dundee have, other than that one attack from Aberdeen, really dominated this half, I would have to say. And it's good decision making that's contributed massively towards that.
Ball drilled forward by Devlin for Aberdeen, but it's given away again. Ashcroft, but he too gives it away, but then Clarkson does likewise. And it's with Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy slipping it back to Ashcroft. And then out to the left for Dodgson. Remember, Aberdeen have got Celtic and Rangers in their next 2 matches. Not exactly the fixtures you want when you're trying to get a winning run going. If Barry Robson can somehow survive tonight in those 2 games, they've got a clutch of matches here at home. Not that home's been particularly great for them this season, just 4 wins. And it includes the Bonnyrigg Cup tie against teams round about them in the division. And Joe Shaughnessy collects at the edge of the centre circle. Forward to Mulligan. Out to this near side for Cameron. Out to the touchline for McGee. And back to Cameron.
Mulligan's causing Aberdeen real problems. He's finding a lot of space between Aberdeen's defence and midfield.
I'd love to know what the possession stats are for the second half as Clarkson looks for Miovski, who's chasing it. Shaughnessy slides in, and out it goes for a throw-in down by the corner flag for the team on this left-hand side. And Aberdeen are going to make a change in just a moment. Let's just double-check there that they're going to bring on Papi Gay, who has barely had a kick since signing. I mean, there were reports that the fee, and as Willie knows, and he's moaned about this often enough, you don't know the exact fee that the club is paying for the likes of Papi Gay. There were reports of around about $500,000. I think the club, people I've spoken to, played down that transfer fee, but as I said to them, so, well, if you don't tell us what they are, then we're not going to know for sure. But they did spend a substantial 6-figure fee on this guy, and he's done nothing really up to press.
Yeah.
It's going to be a double change, I think, for the Dons. They're also going to bring on Ryan Duncan, Esther Sockler's coming off, and is it Jack McKenzie's the other one who's going to be withdrawn? I mean, I don't know. Will you talk us through that?
What, Sockler for Duncan?
In fact, Dundee, we'll go to that in a moment, because Dundee are making changes as well. Costello and Tiffany are coming on. I mean, it's like for like changes, Willie, but I'm just wondering the thoughts behind playing Ryan Duncan in that wing-back position, because he's not a defender.
Well, yeah, he's not, but I think Barry's looking at the second half and thinking, Dundee are the better team here. I've got to do something. I've got to change it up. I've got to make personnel changes. I've got to try and get back into the game. Much more impressed with Dundee. That was what I was expecting from them in the first half. And we certainly didn't get it, but that one change at half-time has made a huge difference. And I think, Barry Robson just looking at it and, going to the bench in the hope rather than the expectation of it making a change.
Jordan McGee's come off for Dundee. Just trying to work out the other change. We were watching the Aberdeen subs. We'll confirm that for you in a moment. I think it's Zach Robinson's the other player who's come off for Dundee. So on comes Scott Tiffany and Dara Costello. And it's out of play for an Aberdeen throw-in. In fact, a Dundee throw-in's been given right level with the Dundee 6-yard line. One apiece, 68 on the clock. Jamie McGrath had a big chance for Aberdeen when they were 1-0 up. Sockler thought he'd scored when they were 1-0 up. Lee Ashcroft with a header cancelling out the Miovski penalty from the first half. And this is finely poised. Dundee, the better side in this second half. A big pinged ball out towards Costello, who's starting out on this right-hand side, and it goes behind for the goal kick. It was marshalled well enough there by Ryan Duncan.
Real competition, Dundee, when you look at the players they're bringing on.
Yeah.
I mean, Costello coming on for Jordan McGee, who I think has played pretty well in this game. I don't think he's done much wrong, but he provides better balance maybe. He's more of a centre-back or a central midfield player, McGee, although he's capable of playing at wing-back. And then you've got Dodgson, who's playing, kind of left centre-back, but is really a left wing-back. Then you've got, of course, Owen Beck as well. So, spoiled for choice a little bit. And Zach Robinson coming off for Tiffany, the like for like as well.
I thought they had a good squad at the start of the season, but they've only strengthened it this month. It's been an excellent window on paper. Yes, a lot of loanees, but Dundee are finding their feet, their targets to stay up. Good catch, Rory. Caught his team sheet magnificently well there. Snelders and Leighton would have been proud of that kind of catch here at this stadium back in the day. It's going to be a free kick here to Aberdeen. It's about left of the centre circle, just slightly left the centre. Shinnie playing it short quickly here to Duncan. Shinnie continuing his run. Duncan uses him as a decoy and crosses. It's cleared and breaks to Clarkson. Nodded header back to Jensen. And the spin goes back to his goalkeeper. And we are about to go into the final 20 here at Pittodrie. It's Jensen, long left-footed ball forward, looking for Papi Gay. He's driving into the Dundee penalty area, and it comes right through to Carson. It might have been a foul by Gay, the referee allowing Dundee the advantage because the goalkeeper onto it, and he's bowled it out quickly to Dodgson. Little ball in field to Boateng, and back to Shaughnessy. It's a poor ball by Boateng. Miovski didn't react quickly enough to get onto it. It's now with Costello on this near side. Goes back to Shaughnessy, and Costello fires it beautifully forward onto the feet of Mulligan on the halfway line. Back to Costello, and then to Boateng, and Costello again to Shaughnessy. Dundee popping the ball around like nobody's business. One apiece at Pittodrie.
Yeah, they're a team rejuvenated in the second half, are they not? I mean, it is. It's very pleasant in the eye as well. And the second half has been dominated by their good play.
Jack Milne up the line for Aberdeen. Gay to Milne on the right-hand side. He gives it away though, and Dundee have it back. Milne slides in.
That's
the ref didn't like the challenge though. Free kick Dundee, left of the centre circle.
That's a good challenge from Milne, in my opinion. He goes in, he wins the ball. Yeah, it's a meaty challenge, but I don't think it's a free kick. We do have a screener, maybe.
It's on back. It's on Bakayoko. You'll probably see a replay of it in just a moment.
Sorry, there's a big pillar in front of me. I didn't actually catch it, so I can't come in with a comment.
You'll see it now. Well, yeah.
I mean, he slides in. It's all along the ground, isn't it?
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
Now then, Curtis Main is coming on for Dundee, former Aberdeen striker. He caused them plenty of problems in the claret and amber of Motherwell, most notably in a Scottish Cup semi-final at Hampden. Derry McInnes signed him. It didn't really work out for him, and Aberdeen, he was the foil for Sam Cosgrove during his time here, as he's booed on by the home support, but he came back to haunt them a couple of times with St Mirren last season. Spent a short spell in India, now he's back in Scottish football and he's chasing after this one in the Aberdeen box. Duncan's there to clear.
I'm surprised at that, and that's no slight on Curtis Main. You know, he's very effective at this level, but I think Bakayoko's had a really effective game and been very good. With 18 minutes to go, I would be disappointed if I was being taken off after a performance like that. I'd be desperate to get a goal, and I think he's shown enough to look like he could score a goal, Bakayoko.
Throw in, Dundee on the right hand side level, the Aberdeen 6-yard line. Shaughnessy with it, long throw into the box. Ashcroft wins the first header towards goal. It's cleared though on the line this time. Shinnie gets it clear, looking for Miovski. He's not going to get there. Boateng up to the edge of the box for Main. Down he goes. No free kick. Breaks though to Costello. His side foot efforts blocked on the 18-yard line. Dundee pick up the loose ball on the left-hand side. They look hungrier right now.
Mulligan, look at the space he's got.
Yeah, and he's after it now. Gay wins it back, then Jamie McGrath frees himself of his man and drives forward for Aberdeen. Miovski to his left. That's where it goes. The Aberdeen number 9 attacking the penalty area, rolls it towards Gay, who steps over the ball, and Dundee clear through Lee Ashcroft. It says Aberdeen 1, Dundee 1, as Duncan picks up on this left-hand side. Miovski to Shinnie. Shinnie looks up, left-footed ball to the right-hand side of the box. It's flicked away by Beck. Now Miovski picks up right angle of the area. Dinks the ball into the box, cleared by Ashcroft, stabbing it away. Up towards the edge of the centre circle, Jensen's header looking for Shinnie. Mulligan's pass goes, or at least touch goes straight to Clarkson, who plays it into the box, breaks to Papi Gay. Some Aberdeen fans claiming handball as that came in, as McGrath tries to find the far corner. The shot blocked by the head of Shaughnessy. Down goes McGrath on the edge of the area, no free kick. Shinnie rolls it to Duncan, fires it across, cut out by Ashcroft, not once but twice, and the second time he's lying on the ground and he uses his head to get it away. Here come Aberdeen again. Best period of pressure from the hosts for a while this. It's Miovski. Right hand side of the box for Clarkson. 16 to play. It's 1-1. Long deep ball. Papi Gay's header back across the 6-yard lines, headed away by Shaughnessy, and out of play for a throw-in to Aberdeen, level with the 18 on this near side.
Well, you can hear it in the background. You can hear the fans getting excited. They haven't had too much excitement this evening, that's for sure, and they've been under pressure, Aberdeen, for the majority of the second half, but that was a good period of pressure, wasn't it? You know, started from the McGrath break. Was it McGrath that broke forward? You know, an awful lot of space. I think that could be the downfall for Dundee. They're playing that well. They're throwing players forward.
Confident.
They're leaving a bit of space to be occupied by Aberdeen on the break.
It's going to be a throw-in then to Aberdeen on this near side, and they've just brought on their new signing, Killian Phillips, who's on loan from Crystal Palace, and he's come onto the pitch as Shinnie goes down, left-hand side of the box. The Aberdeen supporters are claiming for a possible penalty there. They're not getting it. Jack Milne came off, incidentally.
I think Shinnie's reaction says it all. I mean, if anyone's going to protest, it would be Graham Shinnie. We do get the opportunity. Well, it was outside the box for a start, and I'm not convinced it was a foul either.
I think he'd hit the ball too far ahead of himself as well.
Yeah.
He was never catching it, even if he did. You know, even if he was caught, I didn't see too much contact in it, to be perfectly honest. And I think you're right, by his reaction, it just said everything.
Aberdeen free kick. 76 minutes on the clock. A better few minutes, Willie, for Aberdeen.
They needed it, Liam. They needed it. You know, the fans obviously frustrated. Dundee playing well second half. You know, they're beginning to turn again, the Aberdeen fans, and you know, you can't blame them because it hasn't been good. But that little period there, that little kind of a foray forward and pinning Dundee back the park and having the ball rattling across the face of the goal, it's got them excited. It's got them excited. And you need to try and give the fans some excitement to get behind you.
It is 1-1 here, as it is in the match between Livingston And Ross County in the other game in the Premiership this evening in League 2, Elgin City have gone 2-1 up against Clyde. That could be a massive goal come the end of the season. And Jake Dolzanski scored it with 11 to play at Borough Briggs. Elgin City 2, Clyde 1. It's 2-0 Spartans at East Fife in the other game in the bottom tier. And in the Scottish Cup 4th round, as it stands, it's going to extra time. Brora Rangers 1, Cove Rangers 1 for the right to face Kilmarnock in round 5 next weekend, or the weekend after next. Dundee meantime have a free kick down on this near side by the looks of it.
Yeah,
it was a late one, wasn't it?
From Richard Jensen.
Yeah. He gets a yellow card for it.
Yeah, okay. And it's going to be a Dundee free kick to be taken on this near side. Owen Beck, Lyle Cameron over it. Beck looks favourite on the left peg here. Just over 12 minutes to play.
Well, an Aberdeen head first to the ball in these situations hasn't looked favourite. The last couple of times these balls went into the box.
Cameron leaves it for Beck, left-footed to the left-hand side of the box. Roos comes, commits himself and holds on to it. Unlike at McDermott last midweek, and he underarm bowls it out to Shinnie on the far side. Shinnie rolling it back the way to McGrath, and then back the way to Devlin. Squares it to Jensen. Where does a draw leave Barry Robson, Willie?
Not in a great place, a bit of limbo, isn't it, really? You know, fans go away, they're unhappy. It hasn't been a great performance. They've got Celtic on Saturday, they've got Rangers next Tuesday, they've got the Cup tie after that. You know, I just think it depends what the mood of the chairman is, and you know, the Football Monitoring Committee.
Yes, or whatever it is that they call themselves. But yeah,
board.
Yeah,
beg your pardon.
Yes, I am under the impression that this was being viewed as a massive game as far as the manager is concerned. So we will wait and see.
Still time.
There is for Aberdeen. There's still time for the D as well. And that terrific away support for Tony Docherty, who is prowling around his technical area down below us. Costello clearing up towards the halfway line. The little flick on is decent there from Tiffany, but McDonald gets there before he can get back onto it. It's now with Clarkson. Will then fire it out to that right-hand side for McGrath. I'm going to get it into stride, but he's had it pinched off him by Costello. It's brilliantly done. He's looked really good since coming on. He spent the first half of the season on loan at St Johnstone, as Main slips it to Boateng. Now Dundee attacking. Here's an opportunity. Cameron, and out to this near side for Owen Beck, who switched over to the right. Costello to the left. Here's Tiffany taking on Jensen. His cross cut out by the Aberdeen number 5. We're heading towards the final 10 minutes at Pittodrie. It's a Dundee throw-in, and it's going to be a chance for Joe Shaughnessy to bowl it into the box. Let's go to Ammanvale and Brian.
Yeah, 6 minutes left here. It's still one apiece, but both sides have had golden opportunities to take the lead. Jordan White for Ross County looked to have a tap in after McGovern blocked a Danda cross, but he delayed his effort and the chance was gone. And then Mackay at the other end is cross into the box, into the path of Anderson, goal gaping, and he sends it wide of the target. It's still Livy 1, Ross County 1.
Throw-in comes in from Shaughnessy. It's cleared back to Shaughnessy. It's a poor touch. That goes behind for a goal kick to Aberdeen.
I was thinking Ryan Duncan it was up against him as well. If Joe Shaughnessy goes back to the byline, you'll get some abuse in that dressing room.
Did you have a step over in your locker while in the wing?
Numerous occasions.
Absolutely. Of course he did. There's Kellaroos. The long ball forward with the right foot. Shaughnessy wins it in header. That's more what he's capable of. And he clears. Let's go. There's been a goal at Ammanvale, Brian.
A late goal for Ross County. Liam, a crossing from the right-hand side across the heads of the Livingston defence, and at the back post was Simon Murray. One touch to control, the second one buried into the back of net. His second of the evening. Livingston 1, Ross County 2.
Oh, that's massive. That is a huge goal, Rory, is it not?
Yeah, I said at the weekend, I don't see Livingston finishing, anywhere other than the bottom 2 places. If that remains the case, then I don't see them finishing anywhere other than bottom now.
Kellaroos with a long ball here. It is 1-1. Ross County with a priceless lead against Livingston. They've got a couple of games in hand over them as well, so Livy are running out of targets already Here's Duncan just across the halfway towards Gay. He's back to goal, and he shifts it to Phillips. First real feel of the ball for him. McGrath, his countryman, down the right, blazes the cross in across the face of goal. There's nobody able to knock it home. Miovski was at the back post, doesn't get anything onto it. Haven't seen much of Miovski in the second half. It's 1-1 with 8 of the 90 to play.
He's been starved at service. I mean, we touched on it at half-time. He got a bit of service in the first half, Willie, didn't he? But the second half, he's not looking.
No, disappointing. And that's been the story of the season, really. He's capable, very capable, deadly inside that box. But, you're looking around and wondering who is going to, give the team that creativity. There isn't players. They're very workmanlike. They can get up and down the park. They're good physical specimens. But, the finer side of the game, I don't think, for Aberdeen in the wide area is there.
It's out of play for a Dundee throw-in, level the edge of the D of the Aberdeen box, south stand side, the Dundee left. Beck bowling it back to Cameron, tries to get the cross in, it's cut out, but the break of the ball works for Josh Mulligan. Rolls it back to Boateng. Here's Costello now, spinning away from Duncan, delicate chip ball towards the back post. Beck was coming in there, charging in at the left hand side of the box, but Roos gets onto it, bowls it forward quickly to Papi Gay on that right hand side. Back comes Dodson. Shaughnessy is out there as well. Gay has it, level the 18, back towards Clarkson, looking to try and find a cross. Gets the nutmeg on Dodson, who clears. It's been another goal at Ammon Vale. Brian McLaughlin.
An equaliser for the home side, Livingston. A cross from Jason Holt, sent into the box. Substitute Dan Mackay with a header. Goalkeeper no chance. It's game on once again here. It's now Livingston 2, Ross County 2.
I think Dan Mackay's last 3 goals have been headers. Scored a header in the cup final last season, didn't he, for Cali Thistle? Scored a header to get his Livingston goal tally off the mark recently, and he's got another one there tonight. And Livingston,
told you they weren't down just yet.
Yeah, well, that's a great recovery. David Martindale will be happy with that. He might well be happy enough with a draw at the end of the day if that is what happens. 6 minutes of the 90 left. Aberdeen are going to bring Shaden Morris on shortly as McGrath heads clear for them. Boateng to Mulligan. Mulligan can't get the break of the ball. Cleared by McDonald. Costello forward, cleared by Duncan. The header from Ashcroft, the Dundee goal scorer. Phillips for Aberdeen with the header out to Clarkson on this near side. Clarkson, the inside channel, inside his own half. It's a long ball forward into the wind, which is beginning to get up now. Header away for Dundee. There's Duncan picking it up, and he loses out to Tiffany. Gets it back to Costello. And Costello will sweep it clear up towards the halfway line when it comes all the way through to Nicky Devlin. Is there to be a winner for either team in this game? Curtis Main chasing down Jensen, who plays it to Clarkson. Clarkson poking it forwards. A poor ball by Leighton Clarkson. Dundee have it back here with Costello. Infield to Cameron. Good shimmy away from Phillips. Out to Dodson, and then to Owen Beck, wide on the left-hand side. He's got the overlap from Dodson, who fires it across, and Roos holds on at his near post. Main was waiting at the back stick to pop it into an empty net, and it stays one apiece on 85 as Roos's long ball comes all the way through to Trevor Carson at the other end.
Dodson just didn't get enough whip on it. He couldn't get his foot round it, and it was more of a straight ball into the arms of Kel Roos. But the urgency which Dundee are showing when the ball goes out of play and things suggests to me that they feel like they should be going on to win this game with the way they're playing.
They're certainly not hanging on, are they? And whenever they get the opportunity to go forward, they'll certainly take it.
East Fife have pulled one back. They trail Spartans though 3-1. Blair Henderson's hat-trick. Here's Papi Gay for Aberdeen. Attacking the box. Finds Phillips, takes a touch, but it's a poor one. And Dundee can clear. Here's McGrath. The second ball out to Miovski. Right hand side of the Dundee box. Back to Jamie McGrath. Floats the ball in. Too high for Gay. And that will come all the way through to the near side. And it just trickles out of play for a throw-in for Dundee on the near side. I hear 5 minutes have been added at Ammon Vale. They've gone into that in that game. 2-2 Livingston, Ross County, and Aberdeen making their final change. Leighton Clarkson off, Shaden Morris on. A game goes by without Connor Barron getting on. I have to say, well, Aberdeen, I think, are a better team with Connor Barron in the side. He's been so underused.
Yeah, he's hasn't made too many starts, and when he has started, he's invariably been substituted as well. And he can be a huge influence. You know, I think he is certainly one for the future, but you don't know where his future is going to be, though.
Is that why he's not getting a game?
I think that must play a part in the manager's thoughts as well. You know, if he could just make his mind up and decide whether he's definitely going or staying. Obviously staying would put him in a better position.
Surely the position Barry Robson finds himself in, though, you put your best team on the pitch to try and, you know, look after your squad and yourself as the manager.
Yeah, no, I mean that's 100% true. But if you're uncertain, if it's a toss of the coin, where do you go? You maybe go, well, I think you go with the one that's showing commitment to the club, and that itself, you know, I mean, the midfield three with Shinnie, Clarkson and McGrath, I mean, that's a strong midfield three. So even although, you know, Barron has been left out and not been invited on the field to play as a sub either, that was still a strong enough midfield, I think, for the start.
Another ghost goal this evening. Least 5-1 doesn't count, and it's finished 3-0 Spartans. That Blair Henderson hat-trick. Spartans strengthening their place in the playoff positions. There's a free kick for Dundee then, out to that far side with a foul by Phillips, clear by McGrath. And in the final 2 of 90, one apiece at Pittodrie, and out for a Dundee throwing off Phillips it goes. Over on that left-hand side, Dodson to take. We're seeing a lot, the Aberdeen supporters, of positivity at the clubs around about them. Hearts, of course, sitting comfortably third. Hibs with that big investment. Dundee, a strategic partnership with Burnley, which has yielded a few loan players. Owen Beck coming back to the club from Liverpool. Their old manager, Derek McInnes, doing well at Kilmarnock. It's Aberdeen who are in the doldrums right now. Not quite Livingston levels, but given the investment in the squad, to be sitting 8th in the table is not good enough. Those at the club know that. Here's Lyle Cameron slipping it out wide left to the Aberdeen box for Beck. Looking to pass it back. Cameron takes a touch. His shot is charged down by McGrath. It's Bojan Mijowski for Aberdeen, turning it forward. McGrath giving chase. Boateng gets there first though and puts it out for a throw-in. We're in minute 90 at Pittodrie. Aberdeen 1, Dundee 1.
Yeah, you know, and Aberdeen basically clinging on to another, you know, dreadful result, and I think that's what it's all about. Yeah, you want to see them playing well. As an Aberdeen supporter out there, I'm sure they do want to see them playing well, but I'll tell you what, if they can pull something out of the fire and get that winner as we go into time added on, then they'll go away home relieved. I think that would be the feeling. One of not particularly one of hope, I don't think, because the performance hasn't given enough of that, but certainly if you get a result and you get the 3 points, then you know, you accept that, and it maybe takes away a little bit of the frustration that's been shown tonight by the home support.
Free kick Aberdeen over on the far side touchline, level with the edge of the centre circle. It's in the Dundee half as they look to launch the ball into the box. We're about to find out the stoppage time. It's 5 minutes added. 5 massive minutes for Barry Robson potentially. McGrath with a free kick into the box. Gay wins the header. Aberdeen looking to win the ball at the edge of the box here with Shinnie. Rolls it back out to McGrath. Takes a touch, gets the cross ball into the box. It's flicked on. Gay leaves it the left-hand side. It's hoisted towards goal. It's a comfortable take by Trevor Carson from Angus MacDonald. A free kick's been given as well.
Why?
It's Aberdeen 1, Dundee 1.
They give the free kick. Trevor Carson's got the ball in his hands.
I know. That's a good take as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, goalkeeper comes out, does what he's supposed to do. There's a wee bit of, you know, of a push, I think, from Jensen, I think it was it? But you just let him, you know, continue with play. There's no point in giving that decision.
He doesn't even complain, Carson, or ask for the free kick.
Long ball forward from the Dundee keeper. McDonald gets on to it and finds Shaden Morris. He's challenged by Costello. It goes out for an Aberdeen throw-in. Duncan looking to take it quickly. It's finished 2 apiece at Amon Vale. Livingston 2, Ross County 2. Twice County led, twice pegged back. A point apiece. And it looks like it's going to be a point apiece here. And Dundee, it'll be a point away from home for Aberdeen. Well, they're wanting European football. The best they can manage now will be 4th or 5th, you feel. Particularly after more drop points tonight, unless they got a winner in them. The moment with Gay on the far side. knocks it infield to Devlin, and then turns it out to the far side to the touchline. Gay loses it, and free kick's been given. The Dundee fans and their manager are apoplectic at that decision. It's a free kick for Aberdeen over on that right-hand side, and if Aberdeen were to find a goal here that would win this game, Dundee will be furious.
I mean, Papagay, I think he just loses the ball, he loses his balance. I don't see too much in it at all. There's a little push, a little bit of contact.
That's a foul for me.
You think so?
I think he grabs his shirt and pulls it up his back, which probably suggests,
it's a free kick if he does that, yeah.
Free kick Aberdeen. McGrath takes into the Dundee box, it comes, headed away by Ashcroft, whose goal is giving Dundee a point here tonight. 2.5 of the 5 have been played. Throw in to Aberdeen on this near side. Shayden Morris has it. Duncan made a move for him, but he's held it up, eventually bowls it to Shinnie, but it's a foul throw, and that's a throw into Dundee. That's utterly woeful from Shayden Morris. Now we're in an attacking position.
Yeah, it is, and to give away possession at this time when you know you're desperate to try and get the ball in the box and somehow conjure up that winner, it's unforgivable, really.
Well, that's actually been the sign for lots of Aberdeen supporters to leave the stadium. Don't often see the foul throws, but that was one there. As Ashcroft in turn throws it straight out for the wind caught it, to be fair to him, out from an Aberdeen throw, which Jensen takes.
Quality set pieces.
It's great, isn't it? It's what you pay 25-30 quid to get in and watch. Bouncing ball, Phillips in the midfield, loses out. McDonald's going to get there now. Shinnie out to Duncan on this near side. 1.5 minutes left of the stoppage time. One apiece. Costello wins it though for Dundee. Heads it forward to Mulligan. Certainly gave Dundee an effervescence in the midfield in the second half since coming on.
He's been superb, Liam.
And there he is, taking on Morris, driving away from Morris, but he shows too much of it to Phillips. His pass forward is pinched back by Shaughnessy. And Dundee have scored some late goals this season. Looking for one here. Costello, wide right Tiffany, back to Costello, right hand side of the box, pulls it back, cleared by Devlin. We're into the final minute of stoppages. One apiece. Morris loses it to Tiffany, and now Owen Beck's onto it. Left hand side, he's inside the penalty area, looks up at the goal, shoots. Oh, he puts it wide. What a chance for Owen Beck to win the game. He's got his head in his hands. That might be the final chance of the match. And Beck, who arrived back officially at the club on loan from Liverpool this morning, is left holding his head in his hands, and it stays and will surely now finish. Aberdeen 1, Dundee 1, and Shayden Morris is breathing a big sigh of relief now.
Yeah, it's actually not that close. It's difficult to tell from where we're sitting if it's close or not, but as a left wing back coming in on the angle, that's exactly the type of shot or opportunity you want to present itself. Great work from Tiffany as well.
Well, hold on, Costello's misjudgment up the other end, but he's managed to redeem himself, and he plays it out for a throw-in, and Nick Walsh blows for full time. And listen to the reaction from the Aberdeen supporters. A really poor performance. A Miovski penalty means they take a point this evening. Lee Ashcroft cancelling that out early in the second half. Neither team could find a winner. In truth, Aberdeen didn't threaten after Esther Sockler had the ball in the net. It was ruled out for offside. Jamie McGrath had a chance as well, but they didn't really threaten Trevor Carson after the equaliser went in. And Owen Beck spurned a big opportunity to win the day at the end there for the D. And for Aberdeen, it's now 6 wins in 21 league games. When you consider the investment in the squad, that is a woeful return. Dundee have got 6 wins as well, but they've just come up from the Championship, and this result keeps them 2 points clear of Aberdeen. It isn't enough to take them into the top 6. They have managed to, in fact they have, that's just putting the point, is enough to take them into the top 6. Their goal difference is 2 better than Hibernian, so they have managed to sneak into the top 6 tonight. And there are some Aberdeen supporters who have brandished a banner or 2 off to the right, and I know that there was planned protests after the game. I don't think the performance is enough to stymie those protests should that happen. But Miovski's penalty cancelled out by Ashcroft on the other side of half-time means that this game finishes all square. Dundee will be the happier. And what will this mean for Barry Robson who has the top 2 to come in his next 2 matches, should he be around to take charge of them. It finished here, Aberdeen 1, Dundee 1.
Football from Sports Sound.
Brilliant drop of the shoulder!